Hey, so I have a bit of a confession to make, and this is something that I think is super important for me to put out there and super important for me to create because I know a lot of you watching this, if you've kind of been following me for a little while, you know that I've created a really fucking fantastic business, right? And what I have found in my life is that I tend to put people up on a pedestal, right? Like I tend to put people up and say like, wow, why would that person want to work with me? Why would that person want to, they're doing some really fucking cool stuff with their lives, right? Like why would they want to work with me? And when I did my first live stream the other day, I almost didn't do it. And the reason that I didn't want to do it, or that I almost didn't do it, was because back when I was in corporate, I had a conversation one time with somebody who was an executive. He was quite a few rungs up higher than me, and he said to me, if you ever want to sit at a table with me, if you ever want to be at that level, then you're going to have to change your voice because I can't stand the sound of it. And I was like, oh, holy fuck, right? Like I can't just change the sound of my voice. Like, I'm born with this. I sound the same as my mom. I mean, it's not like my mom grew out of it, right? It's not like I'm just going to grow out of it. And here I am, 32 years old, and really, I mean, there's nothing. It wasn't the way that I spoke. It wasn't like the language that I used. It wasn't like the, saying too much or like too much or whatever that was. I kind of asked him for clarification, and he said, no, it's more just the tone of it. It really bothers me. And I was like, there's really nothing I can do about that. And so I've had this with me for so long. I'm trying to get this stable here. I've held this with me for so long that, it kind of really stalled me from doing a lot of public speaking. It stalled me from doing videos. It stalled me from doing all of these other things in my life. And recently, what I have been looking to do in my business. So for those of you who follow me, you know that my business was built by invitation and referral. My business was built through outreach. My business was built through having conversations with people and enrolling some really high level clients, some really like just incredible clients. And that has built up an amazing business for me, and most people will be super happy with where I'm at. But for me, it's all about growing, and it's all about constantly challenging myself. And so what I'm looking to do really and truly is to build more of an entry-level product. That's what I did with Step Up Society, right? I mean, I created something that literally everyone can afford. And it's this incredible resource for anybody who wants weekly coaching and mentorship around business, around life, around mindset, for less than the cost of a Frappuccino a day. And I came to do that because I realized that there were a whole lot of people who weren't quite ready to work with me one-on-one. They weren't playing at that level yet, right? But they wanted a place and a space whereby they could still learn from me, that they could still be a part of that community. And in doing that, in creating sort of this entry-level product at an entry-level price point, I really have to start creating this community. And I couldn't allow this story that I was holding around this guy who was kind of a jerk, right, to hold me back, and to hold me back from my power, and to hold me back from really stepping in. There's like a car alarm going off. I guess this is the problem with going live, right? Is that all of a sudden things that are unpredictable start happening all around you. So yeah, there's a car alarm going off. I'm just kind of sitting in my car. So I had this story right around this CEO who said like, hey, you can never sit at the table with me as long as your voice sounds like that. And I had to get over it. And when I watched my first live stream back, it was funny. I just had a conversation with my coach, Rich, and we were talking, and I said to him, I tried live streaming this week, and it was brutal, right? And he was like, well, what was so brutal about it? And I went into the analytics on that live stream, and I realized that the majority of people watched it all the way through. So even though I thought it was brutal, I thought that I was stumbling through it, I thought that, oh my gosh, I sound I sound awful. Oh my gosh, people are gonna hate my voice, right? Even though all of those things, people were watching it all the way through, which means that it resonated with them. I mean, you don't stay watching a video if you can't stand it, right? I mean, nobody's going to watch through 10 minutes if you really can't stand the person talking to you. And that really sort of, it kind of pissed me off, honestly, because I wanted to look for validation as to why I shouldn't do something that made me uncomfortable, right? I wanted validation as to why I could get away with not live streaming or not doing these things in the business that was going to propel me forward and help me reach my goal of filling a Step Up Society. And so it kind of pissed me off because I was like, shit, here I am looking for this validation to kind of be like, you know, here, look, see, I was right. And really the validation that I found was that by getting over it, by realizing that him saying this was really, it wasn't my problem, it was his problem, right? That was really powerful. That was really powerful, and I was able to spread a message that people would love to hear. And so I thought that I would come on here and share that confession with you. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more of these. I'm going to be really diving in with you guys around some super deep things, getting super, super vulnerable, because I know for a fact that by doing this, we are going to be able to grow together. We're going to be able to share together and form this really cool community built on this culture of trust and vulnerability. So I just thought that I would pop in. I only have a couple minutes here. I need to get back to the office. I'm doing an intensive with a client this afternoon, but you know, I wanted to share this message. I wanted to empower you to step out of something, step out of one of the stories that you've been telling yourself, and no matter how many people around you have validated that is true, to go ahead and just do something and to put yourself out there. And even if you think you sound really stupid, right? Other people don't. So ciao for now. I'll talk to you guys later. And thank you so much for watching and hopping on.